4 games left, one final push for the postseason. The last episode didn't exactly go according to plan. It wasn't a disaster by any means, although the overtime loss to Pittsburgh could be defined as a disaster, I would say. And it set the stage for this episode where, again, we have 4 games left, 2 of them against division rivals, and this game against the Jets is the most important of the bunch. We are 1 game ahead. They are the biggest competition. They represent the biggest competition that we have in this division this season. The Dolphins 2 games back. I'd like to think we'd still be able to stay ahead of them at 6-5-1. Before we get down to business, though, we do have the scouting to take care of, and then we'll see what happens in this game. It is going to set the tone for the rest of the episode. What happens in this game is going to set off the domino effect that we desperately need to go our way. Last year, again, we talked about it. We probably could have made the postseason if we stuck with it, but how far would we have made it? Probably not all that far. So then, you have this season, where off the back of a strong offseason, a decent enough draft, you know, the pressure's on to get back into a playoff spot. And again, a loss here could put all of that into jeopardy. So let's do it. We head down to MetLife in desperate need of a win. Only a 2 overall point advantage. We're already familiar with that Jets roster and Le'Veon Bell, having played them, of course, earlier this season. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, a win here, and it's likely, I don't want to, you know, look past our 3 remaining opponents after this game, but it's likely that we walk away with, you know, we walk away with the division, that we make the playoffs, no problem. If we lose here, it gets a lot more stressful. So let's see what happens. Chase Dawson and the Patriots, what can we do on this opening drive? We forced them to punt early on. Let's see what we can do through the first 3 points on our first drive, followed up with another 7 on a pretty damn quick drive with a couple of big plays. So it was a 44-yarder for Lutz, and then there you see it, back-to-back 20-yard completions, capped off with a 4-yard rushing touchdown for Sony Michel. Let's go to the half. We're up 10-0. Make that 10-7, 10-10, 13-10, 17-13, 17-15 at the half. Defense, what is defense? 17-15 at the half. Damn, 2-yard rushing touchdown for Bell. There was a fumble that was recovered by CJ Mosley. They hit a field goal. They follow that up with another field goal. We do get a Sony Michel touchdown. A negative 3-yard rushing touchdown for... Oh, God, it's so weird. Good thing is, we're winning. Not as convincingly as I'd like to see us be winning by, but we are winning. Let's sim through the third. We start off the second half with a touchdown on the opening drive, and the score will hold at 24-15. We start the fourth quarter in possession at our own 20. Can we do anything with it? No, we cannot. CJ Mosley again. This time it's an interception and a chance for the Jets. They take over at their own 38 and drive down the field to yet again make it a 2-point game. Le'Veon Bell with the rushing touchdown. So turnovers proving to be costly. 9:25 left. Let's see if we can get anything on this drive, and we do. Not only that, we take 7 minutes off the clock. 2:15 left, 31-22. This game should be over, and it is. The Jets can't score in time. That is a huge victory that sees us now 2 wins clear atop the division, 31-22. A huge win. I don't want to say convincing, because we had certain moments of not looking all that good, but we made it work for us. Dawson, 328 yards on the day, but only 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Sony Michel had a monster game. Absolutely tremendous. Cooper did great as well, led the way with 8 receptions. Jake Butt with a touchdown, and then no sacks allowed. Defensively, Godfrey and Jack leading the way. Not that many tackles for loss, 2 sacks on the day, no picks, but it was enough. Sony Michel leading the way. And again, I think if you look back to last season, that really was the deciding factor in us deciding to blow it up. Oh my god, the upgrade points. And trading a lot of our veterans, it's that Sony Michel was down. And he is an unreal game changer for us. So, James LANDRY up to an 83. It's amazing how quickly we began to rebuild this O-line. I mean, I hate to see Tooney and Mason go, but it was the right call at the time. Justin Evans up to an 80. I think we'll look back on that face mask penalty for years to come. And Parrish Winters on the O-line up to a 71. So not a bad depth option for us there. The 24-year-old depth lineman. So we're up to 9-4. We head home to host the Bills. And we should be good to go. A win here pretty much all but secures us this division title, as Shannon McDonald won the Heisman. I know I frustrated a lot of people by not looking at the draft stories all that much, and I apologize for that. But for me, it's like, oh, this guy's going to be really good. Cool. Do we need him? If not, I don't really care. Now, he is a linebacker, so, in fairness, we might actually need that guy. But I'm not too worried about it. For the moment, we have more upgrades. Eli Harold. Eli Harold. This is a guy on our team, apparently. I don't even remember signing him. But he's up to a 72. I guess we just signed him as a depth option. I don't recall seeing his name once this season. And in terms of scouting, we might as well round out the D-line. Look at these defensive tackles, then move to the linebackers. Again, the O-line. The only real reason to scout O-line is to potentially replace Isaiah Wynn. I was thinking of the linebacker Shannon that we just saw. Dudley Mayo. Good God, what a player. Joe Charles, not so much. Dudley Mayo. And John Bates. Not that we need defensive tackles, although if we do pick up a half-decent DT in this draft, like Jaleel Armstead, Jesus Christ, if we do pick up a half-decent DT, that would give us the option to make a move and, have other things go our way in terms of like, oh, well, we have Lawrence at DT still. I mean, he's the second choice. So, no doubt we could trade him, maybe look to get a slightly better linebacker than, but then again, like Bentley and Sparks are trying to train up. I mean, really, the only thing I'm worried about is like, okay, maybe find a replacement for Evans, and of course we could still use some corner help once Richard Sherman leaves the team at the end of this year. But all of that we will worry about at a later time. Let's do this. We host the Bills. Only a 2 overall point advantage. Matt Milano, again, going X Factor is pretty ridiculous. But a win here, and more importantly, a Jets loss, will see us take this division, and we'll be looking very good heading into the playoffs. We could actually probably even quick sim through the last couple of games in this season. We shall see. We don't want to look past it. I mean, anything can happen, like Ngakoue, who should have been a Patriot, but you went to Buffalo instead. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? We sim through the first. The Bills take the early lead. We respond with a field goal, 7-3 after 15 minutes. We go to the half. Now 10-3 Buffalo. I guess it's working out for them pretty well. 10-10 is the score at the half. It ended up being a 1-yard rushing touchdown for Sony Michel. We go to the second. Not exactly a high-scoring game thus far, although a long drive is capped off with a touchdown. It's 17-13 at the start of the fourth. We have the ball at their 34. Let's see what we can do here. We can do what we got to do. It's a field goal, but still, now a 7-point lead for us. 10-yard penalty really kind of screwed us there. Can the Bills respond? Yes, they can. They march down the field. 9:40 left. We are tied at 20 all. Let's see what we can do on this drive in response. We can only end up with a field goal. That's shocking. It was a long drive. We have to settle for a 22-yard field goal from the Buffalo 5. So that is devastating to fall short in that goal situation. 3:19 left. And there is absolutely a chance that Buffalo could win this right here. We're going to find out. No turnovers for the Bills in this game. and we need a win. Allen throws out to his right, quickly tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 3. Allen 20 of 30, no touchdowns in this game. Strong effort there from the defense. 2:50 left. Let's see what we can do. Allen drops back, scanning, throws out to the right, and it's dropped, knocked loose would be a more accurate description. I think that was Miles Jack, you would hope, but there we go. A huge play there with what looked to be a certain first down. That brings up a 3rd and 13. Allen, quick step back, throw out to the left. They'll get back a little bit above the original line of scrimmage, but they're going to have to punt here. That is huge for us. They're going to go for it. Oh my God. You have all 3 timeouts. What are you thinking? I mean, this puts us in the field goal range automatically. If it fails, Allen airs it out well over the receiver's head. And that 4th down situation might be one that they look back on with a little bit of regret. A first down would be devastating for them. High snap and a handoff. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. We're looking okay. At the very least, as long as we get a field goal out of this situation, that forces them to have to score a touchdown, and I don't know if they're going to do that. Hopefully not. Takes a little bit of the pressure off on the defense. Dawson switches out to the shotgun. Will still hand it off. Sony Michel up the middle. He's going to be just shy of the first down. 3rd and inches. So this is the game right here. The Bills down to 2 timeouts. If we get the first down here, this game is over. We're on the 16. Quick RPO out to the left. He's going to be stuffed. They go for the RPO. The Seattle special. Why run when you could throw? And we're going to have to settle for the field goal. Huge stop there for the Bills. Cooper on the reception, but he had nowhere to go. The kick is up from Lutz. The kick is good. Is it just me, or is like, what? How long has it been since they've had the officials there to put their arms in the air, you know? Regardless, it's now a 6-point lead, 1:49 left. The Bills with 1 timeout, so they do have a life. Here's the return. A little bit of space up the middle. They get up to the 29, so 1 timeout, 1:45 left. Let's see what Allen and the Bills can do. That huge 4th down stop gives them a little bit of hope. Let's see what we have. Allen, quick drop back, throw out to the left. Caught, first down. I believe he should have it. He does. They go with the no huddle. 1:23 left. Allen looking again, throws over the middle. They're not sticking to the outside, so the clock keeps ticking. 9-second runoff there as we approach 1 minute left. 2nd and 1 from the 48. Allen gets his man on the outside, and he's tackled out of bounds. 59 seconds left. The Bills are up to the 24. Allen marching his team downfield. Can he cap it off? Throws out to the left underneath. It's a little bit wide. 55 seconds left. Can the defense hold on? A loss here and a Jets win puts the pressure back on. Play action. Allen looks out to the left again. Touchdown, Bills. Oh my God. Josh Allen. Please miss this point after. We had this game on lock. And a failed conversion on 3rd and inches sees us settle for a field goal. And the Bills march down the field and take a 1-point lead with 49 seconds left. We have all 3 timeouts. This one will be taken out and brought back to the 29. Can Chase Dawson find a little bit of magic to get us into field goal range? This defense, which has been pretty damn strong all year, absolutely crumbles. Play action from Dawson. Looking. Throws deep over the middle. Incomplete pass. Lutz's target line is the 42. We'll keep that in mind. Ball at the 29. 40 seconds left. We need a little bit of magic here. Dawson takes the snap. Quick throw over the middle to Sony Michel. They do call the timeout. Thankfully, they're smart enough to do that. Ball at the 36 with 35 seconds left. Is there a response? 3rd and 3. Dawson throws out to his left. It's caught and out of bounds up to the 49. It's Trent Taylor. Hits 1,000 yards on the year. His 3rd reception of the game, averaging over 10 yards a reception. And here we go. The target line is within sight. Dawson looking, steps up, throws over the middle, has the completion. And we're up to the 30. Huge response from Chase Dawson and the Patriots. 23 seconds left. Let's see what we can do. Dawson's going to throw one more time. Over the middle, caught by Michel, up to the 23. And they call a timeout with 10 seconds left. I so want to take over to not have them botch this, but it's in the AI's hand. Lutz is iced. We're going for it right here, right now. Could have let the clock tick down a little bit more. But here we go. This is it. Will Lutz, with 10 seconds left, can he hit this field goal to put us back on top? He can. 29-27. But there's still 7 seconds left. I don't know if I can be all that optimistic. There's still time. This one will have to be returned. And he shut down, I think, up to 29. Again, that's, all right, got up to the 30. I was going to say, that's 3 straight kickoff returns brought to the 29. Here we go. A miracle needed for the Bills. Allen airs it out. It is intercepted. And this game is over. J.C. Jackson with the pick. And we survive. Somehow, some way, we survive. We hold on to get the win. Will Lutz is the hero. Chase Dawson's the hero. The offense bails out the defense on that final drive. And we walk away with the win. So we had the advantage in pretty much every aspect. And that should pretty much seal the division title for us. Dawson, 27-41, 276 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. Sony Michel, another strong game, nearly 100 yards on the ground. Receiving-wise, Cooper and Harry did very well. The touchdown for Taylor. Blocking-wise, no sacks allowed again. Godfrey led the way in terms of tackles. Quarterback sacks, we had 2. A Buckham and then a half for Lawson and Evans. And the game-ending pick from Jackson, Will Lutz, 5 for 5, including the winner. Unreal accuracy, which has not been seen by the real-life Patriots team so far this year. But that's okay. Sony Michel improves. He's up to an 87 overall, legit playing like an 88 due to morale, the now 27-year-old. And J.C. Jackson off the back of that pick is up to a 79. Likely, of course, to stay on this team heading into next season. Might be the second option, more ideally the third option. But again, that should seal it. We'll see if the Jets ended up winning. We have 2 games left, and they did not, so that is it. We have clinched the AFC East. The Patriots back in the playoffs where they belong. Currently behind a few teams that have won 11 games. But in the AFC, we're in a 3-way tie for top of the conference with the Texans and Colts. So, very, very good to see us turning this around. We won't have to jump into the sim in the final 2 weeks. We'll save time and we'll move on. Although scouting-wise, let's see what we have here as we finish scouting defensive tackles. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. This dude, terrible. All right, so we're done there. Let's go to linebackers. And again, there were not any O-line scouts, unfortunately, but we'll make the best of that and try to scout out as many as we can. Was there a linebacker scout? There was, thank God. Max Francis. That would have complicated things if there wasn't a linebacker scout. By the end of this year, we should have enough for wide receiver or running back boosts. Tough call as far as which one to use. Probably the running back, because I'm a little bit worried about Sony long term in terms of, you know, how much time do we have left with him. But let's see what we got. at? Linebackers, Jacoby Harding is at the top of the board. And we're going to do the same thing we always do. We're going to look at everybody. Waste of points or not. We are looking at everybody. And unfortunately, some of these guys weren't worth looking at. But that's okay. So we'll sim this game against Cleveland. We're going to keep the first team in. I know that's a risk. That's a huge risk, but we are competing for home field, and we need to stick with it. So let's see what happens, taking on the 9-5 Cleveland Browns. A very tough game that we walk away with the W. 30-24. Huge victory there that keeps us up there in terms of potentially securing that top record in the conference. As we'll see here again, losses this year to Green Bay, Miami, New York, and Pittsburgh. Let's see what happened here in this game, though. As it went to overtime. Damn close game. We had nearly 500 yards of offense, but it still went to overtime. Those 2 turnovers of ours probably didn't help. But ultimately get the win. Imagine Baker Mayfield being that good. That's how you know it's a video game. Chase Dawson, sacked 3 times, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks in that game. Sony, 82 yards on 23 carries. Harris with a touchdown. Harry with 11 receptions, 2 touchdowns on the day. The O-line struggled a little bit more, which isn't surprising. I mean, you're going up a team that fields Myles Garrett. J.C. Jackson led the way in terms of tackle, sacks for Sparks and Tuck. No interceptions. Lutz missed a field goal. But ultimately, we hold on to get the win. And that sets us up the season finale as we host Detroit, as Clinton Tuck will go up to an 81 overall. Absolute monster. My own personal Vince Wilfork. I love him. And Tyrell Godfrey is going to make it to an 80. He's playing like an 82 right now, though. What a goddamn draft pick he was. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. My own Vince Wilfork and my own Ty Law. You love to see it. So let's see what we have here. Our final bit of scouting, at least in the regular season. And we will hopefully be able to make the best of it or not. Yikes. Alright, how good's the Heisman winner? That's, you know what, let's just take a full look at it. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And so, oh my God. Shannon McDonald or Raymond Abbott. If we end up with either one of those two, we are laughing. My God. So let's take a look at Anthony Kendall. He's a bit of a disappointment, but yeah. So as it turns out, the linebacker talent in this draft pretty strong. So right now we are second in the NFL. We are atop the AFC. So we're absolutely playing our starters in this one. We're not going to rest anybody. A win guarantees us the top record in the conference. Can we beat Detroit? Let's find out. We're going to sim it. The result is a loss, 23-14, and an injury, which we'll look at in a second. Let's get the good news first of upgrade points. How about that? As Reggie Choice with 2 points. That'll see him make it to an 81 overall, more than likely, as he unlocks an ability slot. And indeed, he makes it up to an 81. We have to hope that's not a major injury. We also have to hope that the Colts lost, or we just threw away a chance at the top record. So it's unfakeable for the safety, Reggie Choice. KESHAWN BOWDEN, our new fullback. Make him better as a blocking type to try and get him as a scheme fit. It's not going to help the overall, but it will help his long-term developments. He's up to a 69 overall. Funny enough, though, still not a scheme fit because his carrying went up by 1, but still not too bad. Chase Dawson gets an upgrade point. He's an 83, now an 84, playing like an 86, of course, +2 to throw accuracy mid for the 22-year-old. Clinton Tuck, all the usual suspects here for upgrade points. He's up to an 82, which again is just absolutely tremendous for the X Factor. Tyrell Godfrey, another point. He's up to an 81 at the end of his first regular season. I absolutely love some of the guys we've already drafted. Josh Shields, Not able to get him to a scheme fit, but he does go up to a legitimate 79 overall. So I'm cool with that. And Trent Taylor, who missed a lot of time, or at least some time last year, which certainly didn't help. But now that he's been healthy this year, again, he's taken over. You've had, Walker to Edelman. Trent Taylor has been that dominant slot receiver that, the Patriots are known for having. As again, Reggie Choice, we already know it's unfakeable. There we go. So the big question here, number one, where did we finish in the standings? We finished as the 5th best team. The Colts won, so the Colts took the division. We threw away a chance at that, but we finished 2nd above Houston. So a little bit disappointing to miss out there and have the Colts take the division. We had the tiebreaker on them, but they won 5 straight en route to taking the AFC. So it is what it is. We're at least back in the playoffs, but we can't guarantee ourselves home field throughout. The Browns make the playoffs out of the AFC North. Out of the South, you have the Colts and the Texans. Of course, we're the only team to make it out of the East. And in the West, the Chargers and Raiders. In the NFC North, Bears and Packers are both in. Out of the South, the Saints and Panthers. Out of the East, the Dallas Cowboys. And out of the West, you have the LA Rams. So that is the playoff setup for this season. A couple teams and 2 ties. That is very unlikely. We'll say, you know what? Let's find out who it is. How devastating is this? Fairly devastating, but it could have been worse. Dexter Lawrence is going to be out for 3 weeks. It could have been worse. I mean, yeah, missing Dexter Lawrence is going to suck. But yeah, that could have been a hell of a lot worse for us. I mean, that moves Linval Joseph into a little bit more of a relied upon role, but that's okay because we're running a 3-4 right now anyway. And then rushing DT, we have Tuck, Tarai, and I guess technically we'd get Derek Rivers in there on the depth chart. So could have been a hell of a lot worse. It's going to suck that Lawrence isn't here, but all in all, we're doing okay. Let's get a quick look at the stats from this season. Sean McDermott was fired, Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan, my God. Heads finally rolled, huh? Poor Jay Gruden. The fall guy for a god-awful franchise. I forgot to get rid of our practice squad guys. I actually remembered in this episode, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get rid of them. And I didn't. Damn shame. Let's take a look at the stats here, shall we? So in terms of team stats, we had the 3rd most total yards gained. In terms of offensive yards, we were the best in the league by a very big margin over the Colts. But defensively, we sucked because that's just how this game works. I don't think I've ever had a scheme or a playbook or whatever that doesn't result in my team just giving up 1,000 yards. Thousands of yards, I guess it would be. I've never had the #1 defense. They always seem to be in last, so that kind of sucks. Rushing-wise, we were up there, 6th most. And points per game, the only team to break the 30 mark. So the offense has made up for a slightly subpar defense. Passing touchdowns, we were 3rd with 38. Rushing touchdowns, we had 23, which was up there, but not near the top in total. Our defense was, mid-table in terms of total yards allowed. Passing-wise, 3rd most allowed, and rushing-wise, 3rd fewest. So we just can't stop the aerial attack. But points allowed, and this was key. I mean, I guess for the bend don't break offense, we weren't on either side of the spectrum. Quarterback sacks, we did allow the 3rd most sacks, or no, that's not what I'm looking at. We had the 3rd most sacks, which isn't surprising for what this defense is. We forced 6 fumbles, or recovered 6 fumbles at least, and 14 interceptions was up there as well. So while we do allow quite a few yards, we've made it work for us. Again, we could look at changing up the scheme now that we're in the playoffs, or the playbook, whatever the hell, but nothing's helped. Chase Dawson, 4,957 yards, that close to 5,000. 38 touchdowns, 13 picks for the 2nd-year pro. Sony Michel, over 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns. That is the difference maker for us. Damian Harris with 4 touchdowns on the year. We had 2 1,000-yard receivers in Cooper and Taylor. Taylor with 12 TDs this year. Harry with 9. Cooper with 8. And then blocking-wise, nobody in double digits. So not bad from the very, very young and inexperienced O-line. Pretty damn good. And Isaiah Wynn was a lot better. 3 guys with over 100 tackles on the year: Miles Jack, Richard Sherman, and Tyrell Godfrey. Tackle for loss leader on the team, Derek Barnett. Clinton Tuck was up there with 15. And for quarterback sacks, Carl Lawson with 9.5. The pick leader on the team, Richard Sherman and Reggie Choice with 4 each. Will Lutz was 21 of 26 on the year. So taking a look around the league, you had Dawson lead the way in passing yards by over 400 more yards than Aaron Rodgers. In terms of total completions, for the hell of it, it was Dawson, over 400. Touchdown leader was Andrew Luck, who of course didn't retire by the time we started this series. Dawson was 3rd in the league. And in the total amount of interceptions, Lamar with 17. It's a bit rough. Rushing-wise, you had Gurley lead the way, just eking out Ezekiel Elliott. Total touchdowns was Sony Michel. So there we go. We might have a running back of the year award. Receiving-wise, in terms of total receptions, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams with 96 each. In terms of total yardage, it was Amari Cooper. And for receiving touchdowns, T.Y. Hilton with 14. The worst O-lineman in the league. The best was Riley Paxson. The worst, Garon Christian and Rob Havenstein. How the mighty have fallen. Defensively, Blake Martinez led the way for solo tackles at least. Total tackles, it was Martinez as well. Tackle for loss leader was Josh Allen. He broke the 20 mark. QB sacks, Myles Garrett with 20.5. Interception leader, Denard. Leeser? I don't know what a leaser is. Interception leader, Darqueze Denard with 5. Fenton and Slay also up there. And then kicking-wise, most field goals made was Jason Myers. So that brings this season to a close. We're back in the playoffs, as you would hope. The playoff schedule at this point, you have Oakland and Cleveland, Carolina, Chicago, Houston and LA, Green Bay and LA. So the question is, who are we taking on in the divisional round? Who's it gonna be? It is the Cleveland Browns. We have the team leader and the veteran player. The 2 new features that they added. We'll check that next time. But what we know is that we are hosting the Cleveland Browns in the divisional round of the playoffs. As Eduardo Roman back up to an 80. The dog's scratching. I'm sure you can hear it in the background. We're going to end it there. I thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. The Patriots are back in the playoffs. Super Bowl or bust?